3, 2, 1. And we are live. All right, guys. Welcome back to the live stream. Sorry for the poor setup, guys. As you can see on the thumbnail, I'm traveling at the moment. It's an undisclosed location. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I am, but it is a Muslim country after all. I'm going to give you a little bit more insight later. First, let me know if the sound is okay. I know it's not going to be great because I'm just using my laptop. So this is the integrated laptop mic. It's a bit strange for me as well because I don't have a mic next to me. But nevertheless, let me know if you can hear me well enough, if the sound is okay, and then we're going to proceed from there. Good to see everybody, first and foremost. And of course, Eid Mubarak. Salamu alaikum, everybody. Okay, let me know in the chat if the sound is okay. I'm not asking for great. I'm asking for okay, and then we go from there. Good. More than okay. That's fantastic. I'm using my laptop mic. It's integrated. I don't know where it is. Boomer Bobby is searching for it. So I'm just speaking into the direction of the laptop, and I hope that will do. The webcam should be okay as well. I'm using the hotel nightstand lamp for lighting. So yeah, very professional, but nevertheless, alhamdulillah, we are here. It has been at least 2 months again since I streamed. So this time I'm not going to announce that I'm going to stream more often, because every time I do, it apparently doesn't work out at all. Because before last live stream, I think I took a 1 month hiatus as well. So quick update, what is going on? Maybe you can hear it in my voice as well. I landed in this undisclosed Muslim country that I love very much. And I went to Jiu-Jitsu. I was motivated. I wasn't even jet lagged. And I said, let's work out. Let's just keep the momentum going. But of course, I caught yet again flu number 736 this year. So since I left the hospital, for people that don't know, I was in the hospital. I had pneumonia, I had a sepsis, I almost died, but alhamdulillah, I'm still here. And yeah, after that, my health, for obvious reasons, hasn't been the same. And therefore, every little thing just makes me sick right away. So right now, the only way that I'm treating it is with Manuka honey. That helps. I'm on autoimmune medication as well. A lot of vitamin C in forms of lemons, oranges, stuff like that. And other than that, just plain animal foods, eggs, red meat. Yeah, that's all. But we'll see. Inshallah, one day I will get healthier. For now, I'm still struggling a little bit back and forth, but not to complain, just to give you guys an update and a reasoning behind me not uploading so much. Yes, it is due to my health condition, if you want to call it that. Anyways, that out of the way as well. Again, good to see everybody here. I already see we have plenty of people in the chat. I didn't expect this because I didn't announce this. I just hopped on spontaneously. Where am I? I don't want to dox myself, so therefore I'm just going to say undisclosed Muslim country. I'm looking out of the window. That being said, man, it's absolutely beautiful. You can hear the adhan. You have mosques everywhere. That is similar to Thailand. As I said, the region that I'm in is very Muslim indeed. But it's still something else, right? Because here, by default, all the food is halal, of course. You don't have to worry about some weirdo sneaking pork into your soup or something on those lines. So it's really amazing. Everything is just halal by default. And even though this country is, of course, not what you would understand under, let's say, a caliphate or something on those lines, liberalism has creeped in here too. It's inevitable in this day and age. But nevertheless, the basis is Islamic, and man, it makes a world of a difference. So inshallah, one day As for right now, I'm still happy in Thailand, but I'm exploring my options. So inshallah, one day I would really love to live in a Muslim country, if not the whole year, at least parts of the year, inshallah. But no, it's okay. I'm going to tell you this much. It's not Malaysia. It's not in Asia. Okay. Anyways, guys, as I said, quick hello today. I'm not going to stream much longer than an hour. At least that's the plan. If we're having so much fun, then maybe I'm going to stay a bit longer. But as for right now, I'm not planning on staying longer than 1 hour. Ask me anything. If you want to support via Super Chat, that's great. That's always fantastic. That's the best way to get your questions answered and to support Bobby's perspective. But that being said, I'm going to try to answer as many questions as possible. And other than that, maybe we're going to get into some recent stories. I'm not too up to date, but maybe we're going to get into some videos, some recent stories. There's been some development going on online that we can talk about as well, inshallah. I think it's Turkey, not Turkey either, but maybe next, maybe even next. Depends. Okay. Am I with my wife and kids? They came down with me, but just for a little, how do you say? A break in between flights, if you will, because they continued to Europe to visit the family of my wife, and I still have work to do. For people that don't know, aside from YouTube, I'm of course doing certain things as well, because yeah, you cannot properly live off YouTube because YouTube will always do their best to demonetize, shadow ban, etc., etc. So therefore, especially in the last year, I have been very, very busy building things aside from YouTube, and that's why I'm here as well. Somebody's calling me. Actually, yeah. Speaking of which, that's my wife. But I cannot take it right now. It's impossible. Okay. I have 2 phones now. Yeah, anyways, as I was saying, I came down here with my wife, but she continued with my kids to visit the family, and I still have stuff to work out here. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I definitely have to stay a bit longer. Okay, I cannot pick up, wife. 1 second, guys. I just have to write a text and tell my wife that I'm live streaming. Okay, fantastic. We have the first super chat of tonight, today, this morning, wherever you might be, by Abdullah Alk, which is a phenomenal supporter for a very long time by now. Abdullah, thank you very much, brother. Salam, brother, he says. As-salam. I might visit Thailand in August. Let's meet up if possible, inshallah. Inshallah, man. I've met up with plenty of subscribers of mine, or viewers, call it what you will. And yeah, I should be there. I can't guarantee it because I still have things to sort out here, but I should be back in August, inshallah. He says, or else you should visit Dubai and I will introduce you to the Dubai local tradition places which people don't talk about. Yeah, that sounds good as well, bro. I'm going to let you know. Can you please contact me via talktobobbyristo@gmail.com? I should have that email somewhere listed in the description box, I believe. Yeah, definitely write me over there so we stay in touch. 1 second. I definitely have to change the sound, man. This is really an old, very old, very old reminder of the days of veganism. Yeah, anyways, thank you very much, bro. I appreciate it. Please write me an email so we can talk over there, exchange numbers. Thank you very much. I see people are worried for my wife. They say, hey, take it. It might be an emergency. She wrote back. She said it's all good. She just wants to talk and see me. How many kids does Bobby want? Yeah, that's an interesting question, right? So when I was a bit younger, I always said I want 10. Now I have 2. I definitely want to have at least 3, the very least. And then it truly depends upon what God has ordained anyways, right? Because I saw it in my life. I don't want to sound too woo and spiritual, but it really boils down to what God wants. Certain things just happen and you have no control about it whatsoever. You might believe that you are in control, and the bigger your ego is, the more you will think that you are in control, but honestly, you're not. And therefore, if God ordained many children, then I will have many children. Until now, I can say, Alhamdulillah, I have 2 very, very healthy, beautiful children. So I'm beyond blessed already. And if God ordained for me to have more kids, then even better. So, my personal opinion, how many do I want? 3 with 1 wife. That's for sure. I don't want to burden my wife with more than 3. If I decide to have a second wife, then I would go for more kids. Then maybe 3 again. Yeah. Bobby's perspective. There's a popping streamer called G Brock. He's in the same boat you are in, and he has issues with accepting the Shahada, even though he believes in Islam. He denied the Trinity. Okay? I don't know G Brock. Or is it. Wait a second. I don't know if that's him, because many people reached out to me about the guy that read the whole Quran in a live stream. Is that him? Because if so, then I know him. Know him. Okay, that was a bit too much. I've seen him. Let's put it that way. And yeah, may Allah guide him. So if it's him, he's absolutely invited on my stream. We can talk. But I'm by no means a scholar or student of knowledge, right? I'm just a guy. So if he wants to talk to me, we can definitely arrange that. It's him, yes. Yeah, Grayson. Okay, yeah. Okay. That's what the G stands for. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's welcome for sure. Once I get a bit more settled again and I have my office back. Do you, Weish asked, will you do polygamy? Yet again, I said it before, it's all in Allah's hands, so guidance is in Allah's hands. Why I accepted Islam is not due to me, but due to Allah. And therefore, if He ordained more wives for me, then I will have more wives. If not, then not. But I can definitely see myself having more wives for sure. No problem. But that being said, on that subject matter, it's not as simplistic. You know, that's actually a very, very important subject to talk about. Because when it comes down to polygamy or polygyny, the enemies of Islam. Hey, 1 second. Can you still hear me, guys? I think you can. My webcam disconnected. See, Shaitan doesn't want us to talk about those subjects. 1 second. Let me just disconnect the cam and come right back. Okay. Yes. Hello. Hello. What is going on, man? Just when I said I want my office back, there I am. Yes. Welcome back. Fantastic. Okay. So, you can see me. Everything works well. Okay. Yeah, talking about polygamy, polygyny. It's very important to understand that the enemies of Islam attack Islam due to or on the basis of polygamy and how absolutely misogynistic that is, right? They somehow don't see the flaws in the West. They don't see the flaws with liberalism. They don't see the flaws with feminism. They don't see the flaws with basically over 50% of marriages ending in divorce. That's not an issue, apparently, right? Or at least not big enough of an issue to talk about it. But let's talk about polygamy and how evil, evil, evil that is, right? The point of the story is, without disclosing my sins, before I reverted to Islam, actually longer before that, because I got married already before Islam, etc., etc. But in my younger days, now Bobby is an old uncle, in my younger days, let's just say I've seen how women interact in the West, and yeah, well, how promiscuous this society has become, right? And there is nothing easier, essentially, than going to a club and simply hooking up with a random stranger. It's really not that hard. Simply go out, have a few drinks, talk to a few people, and next thing you know, you're in some hotel room with a stranger. Happens. So when it comes down to a second or third or fourth wife, even, if it was all so easy, and Islam is this dirty, dirty, misogynistic idea of just men abusing women and capitalizing on this law that allows them to just have sex with oh so many women, and the poor woman cannot do the same. It's not like it. Because now, when I'm thinking about a second wife, because I'm already married and already have kids, now I have to think about daily life with that woman, right? It's not just a random chick that you met and then you don't call her anymore, right? Out of eye, out of sight, or however they say. It's not it, but it's a commitment. Essentially, you're committing to a second family, to do it all over again, parallel to your first family. That takes guts, man, and that takes a lot of effort. That's not easy at all. But that's what the enemies of Islam don't acknowledge ever, right? Because they are so sexually driven that they only think about sex. Or maybe they're just disingenuous and they want to depict it as such. Oh, yeah, he just wants to have sex with 4 women. Okay, but you need to provide for the second woman equally, right? Then you need to take care emotionally of her equally. Then you might have more children, of which you have to take care of and be there for them, be in their lives, be a father to them as well, right? And manage that between 2 families. On top of that, of course, now you have a whole nother family on top of the first family of your wife. And for people that are married, you know what kind of responsibility that is as well, right? New mother-in-law, new father-in-law, etc., brothers, sisters, cousins, and whatnot. It's already hard for me. Think about this. My wife is half French and half Senegalese, right? So technically, we have to visit Europe, we have to visit Africa, we're living in Thailand, right? It's very, very complicated. On top of that, my parents, they live in Germany, but the rest of my family is in Macedonia, so on and so forth. And now imagine I'm going to marry another wife, and she might be from, let's say, Morocco. Okay, now I have to fly to Morocco as well on top of that, right? At least once per year. Visit that family, etc., etc. So it's very, very complicated. It's not that easy as people paint it to be. And moreover, it's definitely not pleasure-driven as the enemies of Islam like to make it appear. It's absolutely ridiculous, right? But it's an easy target, of course, for people in the West. They're sitting on their moral high horse, even though they have absolutely no ground to stand up on. Their society is utterly degenerate, but they're going to point the finger and make it out to be something evil if you actually take care of multiple families, right? Providing you as a valuable role model, as the head of the household, as the provider of many. But of course not. We're not going to go there, right? Oh, it's only about having sex. So that's why when I'm being asked, do you want a second wife? Internally, every man wants that, of course, but the implication of it is very, very, very hard. So yet again, I would like to have multiple wives for multiple children. That'd be awesome. My children, as I said, alhamdulillah, I'm super happy. If God doesn't give me any more children, and that's all I ever gotten, I'm more than content and happy because I have 2 beautiful children. They're absolutely amazing. And they make me happy every day. I'm so glad. I'm so grateful for that. It's beyond belief. But of course, my male spirit, if you will, of course I would like to have a wife from a different nationality again, right? And to spread my genes. I guess that's just normal. Or maybe that's toxic masculinity. I don't know. But sure, I would like that. I would like to have, yeah, some other ethnicity, and then a third woman with another ethnicity, and just spread my genes throughout the globe. That would be awesome. But yet again, I see how much work it takes with my first family, and I love that I can be with my kids all the time, especially with my son. I want to be his role model. I want to be there for him. And it takes so much time. So I cannot even imagine not being there with him all the time. So basically every day, right? So he sees me every day. If I would spend half the week somewhere else, I don't see how I could strengthen that connection with my firstborn son, which I love dearly. They would have to live all in one house, and I see that as impossible. Absolutely. That's why. So it's a complicated subject. But moreover, once you're already married and you're happy and you have kids, then to really screen for a second wife becomes even a bit more complicated. Because as I said, from the Western mind, oh yeah, cool, more chicks, hey. Yeah, if I would go to a club and I would just choose a random woman for a dinner and then I don't see her anymore, then your standard doesn't have to be that high. And I'm not talking about the optic here. I'm talking about the qualities of that wife, right? Because now I have to screen for a second wife then that is capable of taking care of children, that will be a good mother, that is a pious woman, and moreover, that will understand the dynamics that we're in then already because I already have a wife, right? And so therefore, it makes things complicated. Not impossible, but it has to be, yeah, a quality woman. Very, very quality woman that understands the nuances. And listen, I don't expect a miracle because I know we are humans and everybody's jealous. So I don't expect the women not to be jealous of each other. But at least they have to understand in what kind of situation they're getting themselves into. So therefore, yeah, I'm screening, and I have a very, very high standard when it comes down to the second wife. Because, that being said, I am very, very content with my capabilities of providing for a second wife. No worries. I would provide, I would play the role of the husband. That is not the issue. But I expect the same of her then to play the role of the wife. Right? And if you have already one wife, again, the second one, you're not going to make any compromises and cater to them too much. You want somebody that knows what they're getting into. And yeah, that's a bit complicated. That's why. But it's very, very important to speak about such subjects because, again, in the West, because they're so perverted, they just think about sex. Oh, yeah, well, you're going to have more sex now with two chicks. Ha, ha, ha. And everybody in the West has a mistress or something. So that's nothing new to you, right? We're talking about actually building a legacy with a second household. It takes a lot. Anyways, enough about that subject. Let me check something. Okay, let me open up the chat here. Again, guys, if you want to support via Super Chat, I'm not linking the Streamlabs link anymore, even though it's a good way to support the channel, but it had become very, very annoying with digital payment methods. I've been banned from PayPal, I've been banned from Stripe, and lately I've been banned from, what was it again? Payoneer? No, Payoneer is good to me. From Wise, exactly. See, I've been banned from so many digital banking platforms that I can't even recollect which one it is. The last one that banned me was my Wise account. Thank you very much, Wise. Absolutely professional. Not, but anyways. So, yeah, Super Chats will have individuals that don't hate Islam, of course. But as a theme, let's say political theme, you have it in many, many Balkan countries. But be that as it may, they still have a huge Muslim population. So therefore, they can hate as much as they want to. So Macedonia, northern Macedonia, where I'm from, my parents are from, has at least a percentage of 30, I believe, in terms of Muslim population. At least 30% are Muslim, the way that I understood it. Let me just look that up real quick. Not that you can really believe those stats, but let's see. What is the Muslim population in Northern Macedonia. Okay, Macedonia. Yeah, so allegedly from 91 to 21, it rose only 2%, which I find very hard to believe. But anyways, so 32%. I was right. And those would be predominantly Albanians, ethnic Albanians. But you do have actually Macedonians as well, ethnic Macedonians, quote unquote, which are Bulgarians nevertheless, like myself, that are Muslim. And not by now reversion, but during the time of the Ottoman Empire. They're called Torbeshi. Yeah. Oh. Thank you very much. Batuhan, appreciate it. Hey Bobby, have you ever encountered the prophecies of great Athonite monks like Paisios? Yes, of course, during my time as an Orthodox. Extremely accurate prophecies about technology. Please check this few minutes long video out. 5th minute is the vital part. Okay, sure, why not? Let's have a look. That is something that was always very interesting to me. But in case, just in case, right? I don't know what your intention is, but in case you're posting this to compel people to Orthodox Christianity, I have to say that we have many people that predicted the future correctly, right? At least in part. For example, if we look at Baba Vanga, Baba Vanga, she's Bulgarian from Northern Macedonia as well. And now she's dead, but she used to be a very, very big seer back in the day. She was blinded by a lightning strike, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, she predicted many of things that pretty much all came true. Not all of it, but like 70% or so. And with Paisios, I think it's the same. I don't think that everything he predicted is right. So therefore, the ability to see the future does not necessarily entail or imply then that the religious background of that person is the right one. We have to mention that. Okay, let me see. 1 second, I can't open it here. I will have to open up a secondary window. Just give me a moment, guys. Until then, until I'm looking here in the background, I'm gonna tell you about Macedonia one more time. So 30% and more is Muslim, but ethnically Albanian predominantly, and therefore there is this ethnic dispute, if you will, as well. So it's not all religious, right? But nevertheless, the narrative. Thank you very much. The narrative in those countries that have been heavily Serbanized or have gone through communism, etc., they have a very anti-Islamic stance. But yet again, I'm not saying that you wouldn't meet any lovely people on the Balkans from Orthodox Christian countries that are not favorable towards Islam or have anything against Islam, etc., etc. There are many people that are kind-hearted, and therefore I wouldn't generalize this. But stereotypically speaking, those Orthodox Christian countries are, of course, against Islam. But we have Muslim countries such as Albania and Bosnia. Okay, here we go. On the Balkans. So if you want to go to a Muslim country on the Balkans without ever being there, but from what I heard, I would, of course, recommend Bosnia.
Unless you have a story, you don't have to wait.
Okay, now let me try this out. Okay. So Saint Paisios, for people that don't know, as I said, I'm from an Orthodox Christian background. I don't know how often I said this here on this channel, probably a billion times. But Saint Paisios was declared a saint, as you can hear already, and he lived his life on Mount Athos. Mount Athos is an island, it's essentially an autonomous state, and people go there for a pilgrimage. I myself was there. And back in the 90s, I believe, till the early 2000s, I'm not too sure when he died, but people would go to Mount Athos and they would meet Saint Paisios, and he would tell them their name right away without ever talking to them. He would know their background. He would know what kind of affliction they had. and he could predict the future as well. So definitely a very, very interesting character. And there have been many miracles, absolutely, on Mount Athos. So for people that don't seem to grasp this, right, I could not accept the Trinity, not only because I personally don't feel it's right, but based upon my research on how the Trinity came about, I couldn't find any continuity with the teachings of Jesus. So there was absolutely no source material coming from Jesus where he declares, listen, guys, I am God, worship me. Listen, guys, the Trinity is a new teaching that you have to know now after the Shema, the Jewish declaration of faith. Now is the time to rethink this all, and the Trinity is the true God. Worship it, him, them. So there was no proof for that, simply on an intellectual level, right? And therefore I couldn't accept it. Aside from my natural predisposition of not wanting people, persons, call it what you will. I'm a father and a son, and everybody understands what the meaning of that is, right? So we're talking about two men, essentially, clear-cut revelation in which this is declared. But moreover, you find the Nicene Creed, in which then people came to a certain conclusion, right? And that's why I could not accept Orthodox Christianity. No chance. But nevertheless, I have no hatred towards Orthodox Christianity, nor do I despise any human being born in that faith, because I was myself. And I understand the beauty of it as well. And moreover, I do understand that their saints had prophecies, for sure. But again, you have that in many, many traditions. You have that in Buddhist tradition, you have that in Hindu tradition, in Islamic tradition as well, pagan tradition too. So this is not proof for me for or against Christianity or Orthodox Christianity in that sense. Nevertheless, let's have a look. Every time you do a super chat and you want me to watch a video, I will do that, of course. So thank you very much for the donation yet again. And let's have a look. Let me adjust this window a bit, like so. Okay. Let's see. That's the Orthodox Ethos. By the way, I'm still subscribed to their channel. I used to watch this back in the day. There's a lot of valuable things that he says, especially geopolitically, but I didn't know that he was on the Alex Jones Experience. Not the Alex Jones Experience. Read the subtitles, or do I have to make the camera even smaller? 1 second.
Man fell from communion with God. In the Proto-Evangelio, as recorded in Genesis, I will put enmity.
1 second, can you hear me? Yes, you can. That's so funny, you know, the Christians, they like to attack Islam for alleged non-scientific description of certain biological mechanisms within the human body. But when it comes down to Christianity, his seed and her seed, scientifically accurate. Yes, please proceed.
And you shall be on guard for his heel. This announcement anticipates the conquest and defeat of the serpent by the seed of the woman. The serpent will not have the last word. Rather, he will be trampled down and crushed under the foot of the Redeemer. Throughout history, leading up to the incarnation, the Logos, or Word of God, and the God-man Jesus Christ, God sent visions to the glorified, and they became prophets. These are friends and eyewitnesses of the divinity of Christ.
On the Torah, there is no prophet that prophesied that God will incarnate and such
future, but those who teach rightly the mysteries of the glory and rule of God, which they experience in advance. This gift is given according to the all-wise providence to the holy ones. A holy life makes it possible for the soul and conscience to perceive as in a vision the actions of God in the present and the future. Thus, prophecy is not a fruit of one's reason nor of human will, but the holy ones of God spoke by the Holy Spirit. The pure and holy in heart see God and everything that is divine which exists in the worlds, invisible and visible, in the present and the future. The Orthodox.
Okay, but that already dismantles then basically that Jesus Christ was a prophet. And I'm not saying that therefore he is God. No, it discards that as well. Because Jesus himself says about the last hour, only the Father knows, right? And so he says that they have to have foreknowledge of the unseen realm, everything that has to come. So obviously Jesus didn't have that foreknowledge. So what does that make him now?
Church has, from the beginning, on the day of Pentecost, had holy ones of God, prophets, shine forth and speak to future events, including the end of time. And of course, well known to all is the apostle and evangelist John's revelation. But the prophetic gift has always been present in the church. There are several other notable prophets in church history, largely unknown to the Western world, such as...
Yeah, so that is Christian eschatology, basically, the talk of the end times. But ultimately, we don't know if he was right. We don't know. That is not a prophecy that we can confirm yet. And honestly, I'm not trying to be a wise ass here, but if we're talking about buildings, and that actually has happened, right? So this is a prophecy that we can confirm. Therefore, we cannot say that, cool, therefore it's right, therefore it's true, therefore they are prophets. So the revelations of John,
of a blonde race, referring to the Russians most likely, which will come and defeat the Hagarenes and liberate Constantinople. There's another anonymous prophecy, unknown to many, found in the library archives of the Holy Monastery of Kudlomusio on Mount Athos, and it gives several fulfilled prophecies and still others that are unfulfilled. Among the fulfilled, it writes of a great European war, the defeat of Germans, and the catastrophe of Russia and Austria, the results of World War III.
The Bulgarian lady from way back, she predicted those wars as well, as far as I know, or other wars. I'm not too sure.
World War II, defeat of the French by the Germans in 1940, the revolt in India and the end of the British Empire, all fulfilled, and there are many unfulfilled, among which are the following: victory of the Orthodox peoples and general defeat of the Turks by the Orthodox Christians, possibly Russia coming down and taking over Constantinople as prophesied elsewhere. The world being in anxiety, and there being general despair on the earth, possibly from the decision to use nuclear warfare. The battle of 7 states in Constantinople, slaughter for 3 days and nights, victory of the largest state over 6 states, but then an alliance of the 6 states over the 7th, slaughter again, and in this case, so much blood will flow in Constantinople, according to St. Cosmas at Delos, that a 3.5-year-old calf will float in it. And then cessation of the war. And
it all will come to fruition, because for me personally, it just sounds like wishful thinking. Now Istanbul has to be, but I simply don't see it whatsoever. I really don't see Istanbul ever become an Orthodox city. Prove me wrong.
Prophecies, and adding to them is the great St. Cosmas at Delos, a monk of Mount Athos, great missionary during the Ottoman period, whose prophecies made 100 or more years before the advent of technology speak of the coming amazing technology that came to the world. And he says, "You will see in the field a carriage without horses running faster than a rabbit. A time will come when the earth will be girded by a thread," probably referring to electrical power or the internet. "A time will come when people will speak from one distant place to another, as though they were in adjoining rooms," the telephone or the IP webcams. "And you will see many unfulfilled prophecies, which we will talk about. And with the help of the great Saint Paisios of the Holy Mountain, a recent great saint of the Orthodox Church, who interpreted and supplemented the prophecies of St. Cosmas, we'll delve into the contemporary situation and also sit at the feet of contemporary saints who are also interpreting and delivering to us the proper interpretation of the prophecies.
Okay, yeah, well, there was no real prophecy of Saint Paisios. I thought this is what this video will be about. Instead, we are exclusive to Orthodox Christianity, even though Orthodox Christians always like to display it that way. And Russians infiltrating Turkey, there's absolutely no reason for that whatsoever. But we'll see. We'll see. What's very interesting, if you look into Orthodox Christianity, it is always very nationalistic. Catholicism as well, of course. You cannot blame them, right? Because if you look into the divide between the Eastern and the Western churches, the Catholic and the Orthodox ones, you will see that at first they were speaking Greek and Latin, right? Then later on, Latin vanished, and now Catholicism is the driving force of the Western patriots, if you will, the so-called Christian conservative nationalists. And they all want you to speak Greek, essentially, to come to the real, true faith. It is very nationalistic, right? And with Islam, on the other hand, it's simple. We had the browser. Here we go. Fantastico. Okay, we had another super chat, I believe. Let me just check real quick. Yes, by Watch CEO, €5. Thank you very much, bro. Says CEO, €5. Thank you very much, bro. Says Salamu alaikum. Wa alaikum to South Asia or any other ideas. Okay. So let me just make the camera a bit bigger. Listen, guys, it doesn't work that way. Okay? Let Uncle Bobby tell you. I can, of course, tell you about Thailand, and I will, don't worry. But saying I would like, you never know. So in life, if you don't go and see, you will never understand it for yourself. So experience is the #1 factor. I can tell you all kinds of reasons why I love Thailand, but that doesn't mean that you will resonate with them, right? Maybe intellectually you will, right? I will tell you about good food, nice people, sunshine, oceans, beautiful nature, etc., etc. But then you go there and you simply don't like the vibe, right? For the lack of better words. But it's true. Then you're there and you just don't like it. I know people that simply don't resonate with that country, and I know people that are head over heels. They love it, right? So I cannot make a recommendation for you. You need to travel the world if you want to make hijrah, and you need to check it out for yourself. And then you might fall in love with a country that I personally don't like at all, right? So best example is my dad, my father, went to Germany when he was in Germany. I very much disliked it. I hated it, right? And to this very day, I made peace with Germany, and I like certain aspects of the country. There are many, many good things. There are many, many good things about Germany, but I personally can't imagine myself living in Germany. Just not for me at all. But if I were to list you the benefits of Germany, right? What kind of great social security you have, what kind of good hygiene you got, abundance of food, reasonable prices, right? Good health care, the Autobahn. Hey, you can drive unlimited, right? I used to have a Suzuki GSX-R race bike, and you can drive 300 on the Autobahn. Isn't that amazing? Germany, the creator of Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi. Wow, Germany is great, right? The Alps, whatever, what have you. But if it doesn't click, then what's the point, right? So therefore, one man's trash is another man's treasure, and vice versa, I assume. So you will have to see, you will have to go to South Asia and check it out, man. But that being said, how is it to live as a Muslim in Thailand? It depends on the area. There are certain areas where it's pretty much all Muslim, especially in the south. But yeah, it's very, very easy. So the previous king was for religious freedom, and he made it a staple of the constitution, I believe. So religious freedom is a must in Thailand, and therefore you can freely practice. Man, even in Bangkok, it's crazy how many hijabis are actually working in 7-Elevens, etc., etc. Sometimes you really think you're in Malaysia. It's amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. But sure, you have some downsides as well, right? It is a Buddhist country after all. And therefore, even though you can get fantastic food and many, many things are halal, it's really amazing. But nevertheless, of course, like if you go to a street food vendor, they might serve you a pork blood soup, right? So you don't want that. So you cannot immerse yourself fully into all kinds of things there. So if that is a problem for you, then you should look for a Muslim country, of course, right? It's that simple. But for me, I mean, with diet, it was never that big of a deal because when I was 16, I started dieting for the very first time for bodybuilding back then. And I was just eating rice and chicken. And so even at family festivities, I would bring my tupper box and just eat rice and chicken. And when I was in Thailand for the very first time, I became a vegan. Yeah, shame on me. And so I was just eating vegan food, right? And so therefore, I don't have to tell you, they have all kinds of meat dishes, but I just stuck with my papayas and durians and coconuts and whatnot, right? So that wasn't an issue for me. For me, it wasn't all about the food. But I know people that make their life all about food and eating out, and for them it can be a problem, right? Because they have to select a little bit. But nevertheless, we have fantastic halal restaurants. We have a great Muslim community in Thailand. It's amazing. It's amazing. You can freely practice. Muslims everywhere you go. But it's a mixed society. And that is something that you have to take into consideration if you're looking for a more homogeneous Islamic society. Right? Then I would recommend something else. But yeah, I personally love it. I really enjoy it there. But I don't know if I would stay for the rest of my life. At least not full term. So that's me at the moment. But for now, I'm still there. Anyways, again, in the end, man, go and see. You really have to see it for yourself. You never know. Okay. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate it. La Bodega de Emilio donated 2,500 CLP. I don't know what CLP is, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. Bobby, I followed your journey. Alhamdulillah, I took Shahada in January. MashaAllah, bro. Wait a second. Do I still have my soundboard here? I haven't been on for such a long time. Let me see if I have something for you. Wait a second. Here we go. That worked out. Fantastic. Yeah. Allahu Akbar, brother. MashaAllah. Let me keep on reading. Your videos help a lot. May Allah bless you. Eid Mubarak from Chile. Hey, Chile. I've never been to Chile, man. I've been to South America. First and foremost, it's absolutely amazing to see people from South America revert to Islam. I only went to Colombia, to Peru, and to Bolivia. That was my time of shamanic exploration, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Yeah, but anyways, mashallah, brother, I'm really, really happy for you. And we see a rise in Islam. Essentially, we see a division between right and wrong. Clearly, every single day, it becomes more and more transparent. People either subscribing to absolute degeneracy or accepting Islam. Of course, you have nuance in between, people trying to revive Christianity. But I just don't see it happening, man. Speaking of which, thank you very much, La Bodega de Emilio. Appreciate it, brother. Muchas gracias, I guess. My Spanish sucks, but thank you very much, bro. May Allah bless you too. But I posted this in my Telegram group. Let me see if I can open up this Telegram group. Hopefully I can without being kicked off this live stream. 1 second. Yeah, here we go. Okay, let me see if this works. Properties. Okay. Does this work? No, that does not work. 1 second. I'm trying to show you guys my Telegram. Maybe not all of it. Otherwise the feds will come. But a little bit. Let me see if this works. Window capture. Okay. Okay, let's see. Yes, we got it. Okay, fantastic. That's good. Okay, done. So this is my Telegram group. I think it's in the description box. You can subscribe. I deleted the chat because the chat was just repulsive. It's really disgusting that Muslims in chat groups do not represent Islam, but I want to really stay away from it because it was absolutely disgusting. And click on the live. Does this work? That doesn't make it bigger, does it? Damn you, Telegram. 1 second, guys. Sorry. Just give me a second here. I'm trying to make this as big as possible, but it does enhance the picture once I click on it. Okay. Like this. Okay, so I posted this here in conservative Christians, and they're spearheading this movement called America First, and I think Nick Fuentes is their leader, der Führer. And you can see how much they're in awe of Islam and its symbolism, its strictness, etc., etc. So now it means America First. It's so gay, man. Oh my gosh, they call it ISIS finger. Yeah, it's a political statement, sure. It's so gay, man. I really divide between the fight as Christian conservatives. They're on the same spectrum. They don't understand it. It's essentially Islam against the world. They don't get it. They don't get it. Everything in between. Yes, those guys, they're against the LGBTQ plus blah, 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 whatever. Those guys, hey, not me, YouTube, not me. I'm all for it, right? But, and because their movement is so inherently weak, I mean, those guys, they worship Mother Mary. They will tell you that they're not. They will tell you that they're venerating her. They're worshiping Mother Mary. That's what they do. So this movement is inherently weak. One of the story is now they adopted the finger as well. They want to claim it as theirs. Hey, this is not Tawhid. No, no, no. This is America first. This is so weak. Anyways. Okay. Now what's going on? We have a green screen. Let me check. Let me double check, guys. Let me see, let me see. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me turn this off. Did this help? Inshallah it did. If not, guys, I'm gonna turn it off now. Let me see. Is it any better? What is going on, man? I know, it's green. I see it as well. Still green, eh? Der Screen ist grün. Ich weiß, Sarah, ich weiß. Es ist schrecklich. Es ist unglaublich. Yep, it doesn't return. All right, guys. So I would have to disconnect everything, but then the stream is gone. Yep. That's what it is. I can't repair this. I have to disconnect. Guys, thanks for tuning in, but I'm going to cut it off here. There's no point. If I have to start over again, it's going to be a mess. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it. Inshallah, next stream will be better than this. But it's over for